Hi, I'm Sahana, and this summer I went on a Girl Scout trip to Iceland with EF Tours. It was such an amazing experience, not just because of the stunning views, but also because I learned a lot about how global warming is affecting the country. In this video, I want to share what I saw and what I learned about how melting glaciers and climate change are impacting Iceland's environment and its economy. When people think of Iceland, they often picture giant glaciers and snowy mountains. But what I didn't realize before visiting is that those glaciers are melting really quickly. Our guide explained that many glaciers in Iceland have been shrinking over the past few decades. Some of them have retreated so much that areas that used to be covered in ice are now bare rock or even small lakes. It was kind of shocking to stand on what used to be the edge of a glacier and see how far it's pulled back. But why is this such a big deal? Glaciers aren't just pretty to look at, they're really important for Iceland and for the planet. They help regulate temperatures by reflecting sunlight, and as they melt, they change the flow of rivers and can even cause flooding when new glacial lakes form and overflow. And then there's the human side. Glaciers are a huge part of Iceland's tourism industry. People from all over the world come to hike on them or see them up close. If they keep shrinking, it could affect how many people visit and how Iceland earns money from tourism. Another thing we learned about was Iceland's volcanoes and geothermal areas.
Iceland lies on top of the North Atlantic Oceanic Ridge, where the Earth's surface plates are parting at an average rate of 2 centimeters a year. That is, 20 kilometers over the space of 1 million years. Molten rock, magma, wells up beneath the North Atlantic Oceanic Ridge. An additional volume rises towards a hotspot in central Iceland. This is the fiery heart of the island. Plate movement and ascending magma cause volcanic activity at the average rate of 1 eruption every 4 years.
That audio was from a presentation we listened to while in Iceland. The information really stuck with me because I didn't realize how much volcanoes can interact with glaciers. When a volcano erupts under a glacier, it can melt a ton of ice really quickly, creating massive floods. Iceland has experienced these before, and they can cause serious damage to roads and towns. Plus, the geothermal heat from all that volcanic activity means some glaciers are melting from below as well as from above. It's like they're being attacked from both sides, the sun warming the surface and the heat rising up from the ground. Volcanoes also release some carbon dioxide, but it's tiny compared to the emissions we create by burning fossil fuels. So while they play a role locally, the bigger issue is still human-caused climate change. Climate change doesn't just affect the glaciers. Warmer temperatures and changing weather patterns are also impacting other parts of Iceland's economy. For example, fishing is one of their biggest industries. As the oceans warm, it could change where fish live and how much people can catch. Plus, melting ice and thawing ground can damage roads and buildings, which cost money to fix. The cool thing is that Iceland isn't just sitting back, they're taking action. Almost all of their electricity comes from renewable energy like geothermal and hydropower. They are also working on projects that take carbon out of the air and turn it into rock underground. But even with all of this, Iceland is still feeling the effects of global warming. It made me realize how much climate change is a global issue. Going to Iceland made climate change feel real to me in a way that reading about it never did. Seeing melting glaciers with my own eyes was honestly a little scary, but it was also motivating. It reminded me that even though I'm just one person, we can all make choices, big and small, that add up. Things like using less energy, supporting clean energy, or just spreading awareness about what's happening. And what's really wild is that Iceland's glaciers aren't the only ones in trouble. Glaciers all over the world are retreating, like in Greenland and even high up in the Himalayas. When they melt, it doesn't just change the land, it also means more water running into the oceans, which raises sea levels and puts coastal cities at risk. It made me realize how connected everything is. What's happening in a small country like Iceland really does affect the rest of the world. And what we do everywhere else affects Iceland too. But seeing how much Iceland is doing, like using renewable energy and finding ways to trap carbon underground, also gives me hope. It's proof that change is possible if people work together. Iceland's glaciers are beautiful, but they're also fragile. If we act now, we can protect them, and the communities and ecosystems that depend on them, for future generations. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video inspires you to learn more and be part of the solution.